And good morning! It's a brand new day, the sun is shining, and I'm video editing inside. Anyway, so here's the deal. This little thing here is doing that weird trick that it does every so often, or at least it's done this one other time, or if you watch right here, wait for it. It's afraid of being discovered. It didn't do it. Wow. Anyway, it was inserting a frame from the next week into that same spot right there, at the beginning of the video, and I don't know why. Let me look again. It's not doing it. Okay, so anyway, what I have to do here is to take this standard definition video and turn it into widescreen. So, for people that wonder what on earth do I do with my life, this is what I do. So it's very simple. I'll just go over here and get it to focus. Change the scale, because right now I got standard def and actually, sorry, it'll be standard all the way through, but 4:3 and a 16:9 screen, which is why we have these black bars. We can't have that. So I go over here and I bring the scale up to 135% is my sweet spot, and boom, we've got widescreen. So skip ahead here, and for some reason a DVD, because that's how I get these pull files off of DVD, because we aren't recording digital anymore. Yeah, kind of backwards, but anyway, I have to do it to the 2 clips because it does 2 clips instead of 1, and the last one is usually really short like that, so I'll go and do the same thing. Oh, not 1.135. And there we go, we got standard. Now, that's cutting it a little close for headroom, but we come out later, so that's going to be fine. Okay, so we do that, and we have the intro over here. There we go. And of course my door is being knocked on. Yes, Mom? Okay, so we have our intro right here, and our mission statement is in every intro, and our pastor was kind enough to create this intro. For those of you who use Movie Maker, you can recognize the style here, and then all I do every week is just modify this section, and then I put a transition in here. Now, what it's probably going to tell me is that I'll have the film dissolve on here, so I'm just going to drop that on. Now, what it tells me is, of course, there will be that. I need to check how long it needs to be so it doesn't repeat frames, but here we go. So, you can, it's not too obvious that it's repeating. We'll just take a look here. Yeah. You just stand still for a split second there. And then, okay. So now that we have that, I am going to then render this to one file. And if there's a faster way to do this, I would sure like to know it. But I render this down to one file so that when I go to edit the audio, it will be very easy to, I won't have to edit 2 separate audio clips, just one. Okay, so we have the intro here already, so we're just going to save this as August 15. And boom. And I use that format, of course, H.264, and I just use match source for this section. And that way, because I've just made it widescreen, I don't have to go back and then fix that. So it says it will take 11 minutes, so we're going to do that. And then come back. So if you're wondering about this equipment here, it's very nice equipment. This is not mine. This belongs to a friend of mine, and I'm just holding it until he picks it up. Yes! Do what now? Okay. Okay, so anyway, now that we got that taken care of, it's just some nice analog gear. We have, of course, the compressor, EQ, power conditioner, which is something I need to invest in for my own system. It filters out the noise from the electricity, so you don't get that in your sound system. And then Masterlink 4-track. Yeah, my own system looks like this. It's rather boring. Just custom computer, monitor, 2 monitors, and here is my audio interface, and all my EQs are, of course, plug-ins, and so are my compressors. So anyway, I said last time that nothing exciting is really happening, or nothing's happening. That's not entirely true. That may have been the discouragement talking. But right here, what I have happening is mostly a lot of writing. So we have this project here. I still need to tweak it, probably do some table reads, because it helps when I can hear people actually, reading this stuff, and then I can get a better idea of how to tweak the writing. And that's always something that you want to do in a writing process. For me anyway, it helps, because then it's more natural, and it's more natural, So I think I didn't say what this was. This is Pilgrim's Progress 3, Mariana. I'm looking here as a scene which I need to fix. It's just a little bit weird, and which is not unusual because I wrote it, but I want it to be a little less weird and a little more relatable to you. So that's what I do in between all the other stuff and waiting. There's a lot of waiting involved. So yeah, this is a little slice of my day, and I still need to make my bed. Alright, my bed is made, and now we come to the exciting parts of editing. Well, not really, but and this is why I have to make it into one clip. As you can see here, it's very, very soft. We're not even breaking that. It's like, let's see. Yeah, very soft. Less than -24. You see, normal, well, we can't have it all the way up to 0, but we'd like it to be around -6 right there, and not -30, whatever it is. That's the level meters will tell us. Let's go in here. Yeah, look at that. Can you hear him? I'm gonna have to turn this up.
The Pharaoh, instead of placing hope back in the messenger's hands, says, "I know what you speak. May your gods be with you."
Now something else is wrong there. There's a lot of noise in there, so we're going to take care of that very simply. We're going to go here, and this louder section is the intro, which I don't always do it with the intro. The intro is normal, so I'm going to have to turn this back down. Okay, but what we're really looking at here is this section, where it's so quiet. Now, I'm going to watch the meters. Okay. Now, even though they didn't move here in this section, there is some noise. So what I'm going to do is grab, this is probably making a lot of noise. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to grab capture noise print, and then I'm going to do some noise reduction, which popped up over here in front of Premiere. Okay, I'm just going to do that again because I like to see So here we have the highs. The threshold is in green and the low is red. You can barely see the yellow and the green there. Anyway, what we're going to do is I usually like to reduce the noise by 73% and a reduction of 39 decibels. So I used to do, I think, 80 and 40 because you don't want to reduce the noise all the way. It leaves some kind of artifacts. Oh, but there's a problem because we're just going to reduce the noise in that little section there. We don't want that. We want to reduce the noise everywhere. So we're going to go over here, and then we're going to select all the way to the end. And you can tell that we've selected to the end by this bar on top here, which shows you what's selected and what's not selected. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click Apply, and wait for it. Now bear in mind this is over half an hour of audio, so this is actually pretty fast. On my older computers, something like this would have taken an hour, half an hour, I don't know. But anyway, it's done. And I'm going to zoom all the way out here. I'm using a lot of keyboard shortcuts. Okay, now what we have to do, because it is so incredibly soft, is we have to make it louder. And we did the noise reduction first because when you raise the volume of anything like this, you're inevitably raising the noise with it. And so we want to raise the volume and not the noise if at all possible. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Let's see, that was 15 decibels the first time. I'm going to go for 13 if I can get it to stop at 13. Okay, 13.2, that's good enough. And now we'll take a listen.
Father in heaven, we need your authority of thought this morning as we consider the value of each one of us here.
Okay, that's good. But what I like to do for Pastor's voice is I have a specific effect, and I was very imaginative in naming it. Anyway, and what that will do, it puts a little EQ and compression, just because for his particular voice, let's see what I did here. Yeah, this is 30 band EQ, so I just did a few things, and then to help with the extra volume, I have the tube modeled compressor, and makes it louder but keeps it from distorting. And okay, so I basically just listened to his voice and tweaked it, and then I did the I just saved it as a preset, Miller rack, because this is an effects rack, believe it or not, pretty much like this rack, but only in the digital world, so it just looks like that. Okay, now, right here, on this little view here, allows me to see, this is what it looks like now. That's what it'll look like after effects. Okay, and that's pretty good, so we'll just go ahead and we will click Apply. And then we wait for it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and close that view, the extra view. Okay, here we go. And now,
But down through time, you would have worn that scarlet robe just for one of us. So Lord, as we consider this topic this morning,
okay, let me go into the middle.
certain times of the year you go out and you gather different crops, you plant different crops, you're an agrarian society, you come
Okay, let's go over here.
to that place where crimson flowed for us.
And here is where the song is.
Prince of Florida.
And then the closing prayer. Now, if this were the audio, I would chop it up a bit, but this is video, so we'll go up here and we'll save it. And you can see the little progress bar. Now, all we do is we go over here to Premiere, and we click to give focus, and what it will do is it will import the audio. There it is, importing the changes. And so now, let me scrub through.
But embedded in this chapter is a message of hope. Just in that one word, scarlet cord, the cord word there in the Hebrew means hope. And right here in this chapter we find not someone who's trembling necessarily because there is no hope, but
so that's what we do there, and that's part of why it takes so long, because there's a lot of stuff to be done. Okay, now the next step would be the end credits, and also some interesting little animation that I do there. Alright, so here we are. Skipped some of the boring parts. I'm in a new location, as you can tell. So here's a part I skipped over, which I'm sort of not skipping over now, but anyway, I like to put the verses of the hymns up because, as I scrub through here, because just this shot, I'm just not liking it. So I would tell the camera operator not to film the screen, but in this case they did, so I'm going to have to find some clever way of covering that up. But this is why I started putting these on here. So I may just go ahead and use a stained glass image to cover it, but what I like to do here is put them in. So find the lyrics and then put them on, and so I also do this animation where I have the picture go down like that, and then we have the end credits. So if I jump back here, so we have those two. As you can see, to get the text and the image to scale down at the same time, I have two separate animations going on, as you can see there. So that, because this has an animation from, let's see, so we have our position and scale and the keyframes here to get that scale down from full screen to 51%, and then shove it in that corner right there so that the credits have room to come up on that side. So that I did because having the credits in front of his face was a little bit annoying. So we have that, and then we have animation for the lyrics there, the text. So going down in there, so that to work. But now the credits are moving a little bit too slow. Just crawling. So I'm going to go and speed up those credits. Here they are. And zoom out a little bit. Okay. So the way that you speed up the credits is, of course, to make them shorter. So here we go. Make the block shorter, and that makes it move faster because it has less time to scroll the same amount of credits. Still a little slow, so I'm going to crunch those down even more.
Lord heaven, thank you for the crimson hope that you give us, the scarlet thread that goes from the beginning of time to the end.
It's not too bad, but I want it just a little bit faster, so we're going to trim it down even more.
Lord heaven, thank you for the crimson hope that you give us, the scarlet thread that goes from the beginning of time to the end.
That's a good speed there. Okay, so I'm going to move them forward because I don't want them coming in so late. So I'm going to put it right where that hits 51, okay. So I'm going to pull them over here. So it doesn't start right away. There we go. Okay, then this part needs to come in sooner. I think this is the, we'll zoom in. Yep, that's the channel ID. So I like that to come in right about there. So I'm going to pull this over. And then I like it to last longer than the thing too, so I'm just going to pull it out to there.
The scarlet thread that goes from the beginning of time.
So back up.
The crimson hope that you give us, the scarlet thread that goes from the beginning of time to the end, permeates all of Scripture, and points us to the need for us to go to the cross.
Let's just make sure they're not too fast again. It's a lot of double checking. Okay. Alright, that's good. Now, let's just see how from when it goes dark.
Help us to pick up your banner of love. Help us to march forward with it and encircle the world with your atmosphere of grace. We pray it in Jesus' name.
Okay, so we're going to trim it back to playhead right there. Okay, and I just put a little film dissolve on the end of each of those to have the whole screen go dark. So I'll zoom all the way out. And there's one more thing, which I don't always do here, but let's see, let's go ahead and give something over here. I want to add something new to the graphics folder. So we're going to choose an adjustment layer and same dimensions, and we'll just drop it in on this top video track. Make it the duration of the entire video. Sorry about the shaky camera work. This is kind of awkward doing it this way. Alright. So we'll zoom into there. Okay, perfect. Now, a little bit of color correction. So I'll grab some spot in the middle, like there, where you can see his face. And I've been using 25% sign space, so I don't know how well you can tell what I just did. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and tweak that a little bit and then be ready to render. Okay, so after a little bit of color correction, I'll show you this what it looks like now. It's what he looked like before, after, before, after. These are not huge changes. These are really subtle changes, but they make it look better. And so, because we do huge changes, unless you're going for a really stylized look, which I'm not. Okay, now to fix that part where the camera person decided to film the screen. Ah! There we go. Yes. Forbidden! Okay. Okay. So, ends there. So what I'm going to do, I think, is grab a church image. And then, yeah, the stained glass image. So here we go. Okay. Whoop. So we'll just start it right there. We'll drag it over. Make sure it locks. Okay, now, problem, that's too big. So what I'm going to do is then click on that. And here we get all the parameters of it. Now I'm going to bring it down to, let's say, 50%. 50%, there we go. Now it's a little bit sharp. So what I like to do with this is then drop a camera blur effect on, just like I did at the end, which is what I do. So we drag it over, drop the effect on. It's too much, so we're just going to dial that back. And there we go. Okay. So okay, but now we have a problem because it cuts off the words. So we're just going to drag this down. Leave it there. And drag this up. Okay. So that way, it's on top of the video, but still, because there's the video right there, but you can still see the lyrics. So I think now I'll just have to create a new title, and I'm gonna make sure graphics is selected and title. Let's see, we'll just call it Wondrous Cross title, T-I-T. Say, why are you calling it title when you know it's a title? Well, I'm going to put it right inside where the verses are. So, okay, so open it up. I have everything in folders there, so I'm going to hit right here in the middle, and we'll just type. And then, let's see, do I have this anywhere where I don't have to type it? Okay, yes. I'll just grab it from my search box right here. By the way, that's how I find the lyrics, because I don't want to type them all. It takes too much. Okay, so over here, you have some tools to center it. Okay, and obviously the size is too big, and that needs to be a capital I, so we'll take care of that. Okay, now size is too small, so I'm too big, I mean, so I'm just going to whack it down 50%. Back over here, center it, and we're going to take it up to maybe 70%, 73. Center. Okay, that's good. Now, if you're running, this is title safe, and this is graphics safe, I believe, areas. So it's nice to have those guides. You don't have to wonder what's going to fit on the screen, if there should be any cropping. Okay, one more thing though, because this is white text on such a brilliant background, kind of have to add an effect to it. So I add outer stroke. I usually add that twice, and there, that makes it pop. So now all I have to do is capitalize these letters. Just because we don't have small letters when we do this, I'm going to leave the small and just go. And that, but now this is taking my size, size up. So what I'm going to do is then put this back down to 70%, and then we're going to center it vertical and center it horizontal. Okay. Alright. So now take that title and we'll throw it right here. It is there, right? Uh-oh. Yeah, something interesting always happens. Okay. No. That's probably there twice now. Let me zoom in. Weird. Come on. There we go. Now we know it's there. That's a little bit plain, but like I say, I'm in a hurry. Actually, I didn't say that, but I am. I'm always in a hurry. because soon I'm going to hear, Gerard, we have to go. So I have to go ahead and get that done. So I'm going to drop a little film dissolve. Actually, let's delete the film dissolve. I'm going to put it right up here, just so I can do a transition in there. Transition between the two. Okay, and then film dissolve here. And then make sure that I did a film dissolve at the end of the lyrics. When I come back out, no, I didn't do it, so I'm going to do it now. So I grab the film dissolve. Oops, missed it. Grab it. Drop it right onto the end there, let it go, and there's your film dissolve. So I maybe didn't see what that did, but if I go up here, make this big, then you can see what the film dissolve. There, just fades the text out. Okay, let's get back out of that. And now, if you, oops, wrong window selected. I'm going to select this one. Okay, so you can see that red area. That's what needs to be rendered. Then there's yellow, and there might be some green. Anyways, I'm just going to hit and see how many frames. Ooh, 2,000. So hopefully this doesn't take too long. Now, probably what a lot of people don't realize is I actually do the audio separately. So the audio here is from that. Oh, looks like the video has just finished rendering. Alright. Okay. So we can go ahead and back out of that. And then, okay, I want to go ahead and render it for final. Oh, one thing I didn't show you was the name tags, which I put on. It's right there. That's actually two elements right there. It's let's see. It's this church image, and what shows up at the end. Only it's a white version, and then there's this. So I'll put those together, and then you get that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the sound here. So what I have to do, I have this in my headphones, so you're not going to hear it. So what I'm going to do is then, I've already done effects on this, so I'm going to copy it to a new file. And then I'm going to come over here, and for the audios, I like to cut out the closing song. So that's what I'll do. I'll chop that up and then save it as an MP3, and that's pretty much my audio editing process for the sermons, which are then uploaded to the website. Oops, gotta make sure I got the right one here. Yep, that's it. Okay, so let's save it. Save 1513. I put it in there. Okay, save. Make sure we select MP3. Alright, now it's time to render the video, and I render it in, not 4K, no, SD, widescreen, instead of match source. And then, so I have to go up here and make sure that I do not, okay, it is August 15, not .1, but save it in a different folder. There we go, save, and then I make sure it's not importing it into the project, and then I hit export. And there we go. 15 minutes for a 34-minute sermon. It's not bad. Alright, so here we are, second sermon of the day. Or in my case, since I'm doing the audio separate, it's like 4 sermons. And then the amount of uploading I do, it makes it 6 sermons out of these 4. So, anyway, rendering the second video. I could use Media Encoder instead of the one built into Premiere here, but for some reason it's not saving my color correction when I choose to go over here and use Encoder. Now, why that is, I don't know yet. I haven't had a chance to find out, but once I figure that out, I think I'll be going back to using the Media Encoder standalone, because the one built into Premiere does a good job, but I can't do anything else with Premiere. I'm locked out until after the render is done. So, got that. We got the first one. It's done uploading. There we go. Couldn't have timed that better if I planned it. So that one's live. It's the first one. So here's the second one. It's longer, and it's a bigger file size as well, I believe. So I don't know if I'll be able to get that one uploaded today or not. I started out at let's see, 11:30-ish is when I got here. It's now 4:57, so long time. Not all of that was on this, though. I was needed for another project, but anyway, glad this is done, or will be done soon. And so we'll get this down and try to upload it as well. Should be faster since I'm not uploading anything else.
Thank you for watching.